The small town of Maple Creek in Ohio was quiet and half-forgotten, a place where dreams came to die slowly. The streets were cracked and empty, the air filled with the faint smell of old gasoline and disappointment. People worked hard but went nowhere, and every day looked the same as the one before. In that quiet town lived a 25-year-old boy named Ethan Cole, a boy with a heart full of dreams and pockets full of nothing. Ethan's life had never been easy. His mother worked double shifts at a local diner, serving coffee to the same tired faces every morning. His father had left when he was 9, leaving behind nothing but broken promises and a photograph Ethan never looked at anymore. They lived in a small rented apartment above a hardware store, where the walls were thin and the winter wind crept through every crack. His mother's hands were always tired, her eyes always kind, and her voice always told him to try again tomorrow. But Ethan had grown tired of trying. He had dropped out of college after one semester because he couldn't afford tuition. He spent most of his days scrolling through social media, watching people his age driving cars he couldn't pronounce and living lives he couldn't imagine. He told himself they were lucky, born into the right families. He told himself that success was for other people, not for boys like him. Everything changed one cold morning. The diner phone rang, and a voice told Ethan his mother had collapsed at work. He rushed there, heart pounding, and found her lying on the kitchen floor, pale and exhausted. The doctor said it was fatigue, nothing serious, just years of overwork catching up to her. Ethan sat by her bedside that night, watching her chest rise and fall, and for the first time, he saw the truth. His mother had been giving everything just to survive, while he'd been wasting time complaining about his luck. The thought hit him like lightning. He whispered to himself, "I can't live like this anymore. I can't keep wasting my life." That night was the turning point. He went home, tore down the old posters on his wall, and wrote 3 words on a blank piece of paper: "Stop wasting time." He taped it above his bed, right where he could see it every morning. The next day, he quit hanging out with his old friends, the ones who laughed at his ideas and spent nights talking about dreams they'd never chase. He deleted every social media app that made him feel small. Instead, he started watching motivational videos, learning about people who had nothing and still made something of themselves. He began reading books, 1 page at a time. He started exercising, running every morning before work, doing push-ups until his arms burned. Small steps, but they meant something. For the first time, Ethan felt alive. He got a job as a janitor at a local gym. The pay was terrible, but he didn't care. He worked quietly, cleaning floors while listening to business podcasts through his old earphones. He listened to people talk about discipline, habits, money, and mindset. The more he listened, the more he realized how much he didn't know. Every night after work, he stayed behind just to watch how successful people behaved. He noticed how they walked, how they talked, how they planned. They were human, no different from him, except for one thing: they took their life seriously. One evening, as Ethan mopped the gym floor, the owner, Mr. Hayes, stopped him. "You're always here late," he said. "Most people your age can't wait to clock out." Ethan smiled shyly. "I'm just trying to learn something." Mr. Hayes laughed softly. "Good. Keep learning. That's how I started too." From that day, Hayes began teaching him little lessons: how to save money, how to talk to people, how to think bigger. He handed Ethan a list of books to read. Ethan read them all: Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Atomic Habits, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He read them not like a student, but like a soldier studying a map to escape a battlefield. Every sentence became a weapon against the life that was trying to hold him down. Ethan started saving money, small amounts at first. He stopped buying fast food, canceled useless subscriptions, and tracked every cent. With the money he saved, he bought a used laptop from a pawn shop. Late at night, while the rest of the town slept, Ethan taught himself skills from YouTube, graphic design, digital marketing, video editing. His eyes burned from the screen light, his fingers cramped, but his heart refused to quit. He failed again and again. His designs looked amateur, his ads didn't work, and no one hired him. But he kept going. One night, after weeks of rejection, a small business owner hired him to design a logo, $50. It wasn't much, but when Ethan received that payment, he stared at the screen in disbelief. Someone had paid him for his skill, for something he created. He felt a rush of power he'd never known before, the power of self-belief. He reinvested every dollar he earned into better software and courses. Months passed. His skills improved. He started getting more clients, small jobs, but consistent. Within a year, he was earning more online than at the gym. But even then, he didn't quit his job immediately. He kept cleaning floors in the morning and designing logos at night, saving every penny he could. He knew success wasn't a moment. It was a process. Eventually, when his online income became stable, Ethan took a leap of faith. He left his janitor job and started his own small freelance business. He worked out of his bedroom with his old laptop and a dream. He designed websites for small businesses in his area, helped them with marketing, and slowly built a name for himself. His clients began referring others. Within 2 years, Ethan was making more money than he'd ever imagined possible. But more than the money, it was the pride that mattered. His mother no longer worked double shifts. He'd paid off her debts. He'd bought her a small house in a quiet neighborhood, something she could finally call her own. When he handed her the keys, she cried, not from sadness, but from pride. Ethan realized that every sacrifice, every lonely night, every rejection had been worth it. Yet, Ethan didn't stop there. He wanted to give back. He began sharing his story online, not to brag, but to inspire others who were still stuck in the same darkness he had lived in. His videos started reaching thousands, then millions. People wrote to him, saying his story gave them hope. He told them all the same thing. The only reason I'm here today is because one night, I decided to stop wasting my life. Ethan's journey wasn't perfect. There were moments of doubt, nights of fear, days when everything went wrong. But through it all, he never forgot the promise he made in that hospital room, that he would never again waste a single day. He built a company that helped young freelancers start their careers, mentoring them the same way Mr. Hayes once guided him. Years later, when Ethan stood on a stage at a business conference, sharing his journey, he looked out at the crowd, hundreds of people clapping, cheering, inspired. He thought of Maple Creek, the town he once thought he'd never escape. He thought of his mother, who was sitting in the front row, tears in her eyes. Ethan paused for a moment, then said softly, "Success isn't about being lucky. It's about waking up one day and deciding that you've had enough. Enough of excuses, enough of waiting, enough of wasting your life. The truth is, you don't need to be rich to start. You just need to start." The crowd fell silent. Those words cut through the air like truth always does. After the event, a young man approached him, skinny, nervous, holding a notebook. He said, "Sir, I want to change my life, but I don't know where to begin." Ethan smiled, placed a hand on his shoulder, and said, "Begin where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Just stop wasting your life." The boy nodded, eyes wide with hope. The same hope Ethan once carried in his own heart. As Ethan walked away, he looked up at the sky. It was the same blue sky he'd seen from the cracked window of his old apartment years ago. But now, it felt different. Now, it felt like freedom. And maybe that's what life really is. Not a straight line, not luck, not fate. Just a long road where some people keep walking, while others stop and complain. The world doesn't owe you anything. But if you refuse to quit, if you stop wasting your time on things that don't matter, one day, the world will move for you. Ethan Cole, the poor boy from Maple Creek, didn't win the lottery. He didn't get a miracle. He just made a decision, and he stuck to it. And that decision changed everything. Because the truth is, success isn't built in one night. It's built in thousands of small choices. It's built in every early morning when you don't feel like working. Every late night when you want to give up. Every no that you turn into motivation. Every tear, every scar, every failure, they all add up to something beautiful if you don't quit. Years later, Ethan's story became a symbol of hope for thousands of people across the country. His company grew into a multi-million-dollar brand, helping people build skills and escape poverty. He started a foundation to support kids who couldn't afford education, kids just like he once was. And every time someone asked him the secret to success, he'd smile and say, "There's no secret. I just stopped wasting my life."